Hare Krishna. We continue reading from the introduction to Nectar of Devotion by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Rupa Goswami has also mentioned in this definition of bhakti the word jnana karmadi. So, this definition of bhakti given by Srila Rupa Goswami, anyabhilashrita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnano shilanam bhakti rottamam. That's the definition of pure devotional service. Prabhupada is explaining to us that what is this karmadi? Karmadi is fruitive work, consists of activities that are unable to help one attain to pure devotional service. So, ordinary karma, which is not bringing us to uh, pure devotional service. Many forms of so-called renunciation are also not favorable to Krishna conscious devotional service. You know, we may think we are very renounced, but is this renunciation favorable for my Krishna consciousness? Is it bringing me to Krishna or is it taking me away from Krishna? That is something we have to think of. Many forms of so-called renunciation. So true renunciation, as we have been hearing from Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, is that engaging everything in the service of Krishna. That is true renunciation. Srila Rupa Goswami has also quoted a definition from the Narad Pancharatra as follows. One should be free from all material designations and by Krishna consciousness must be cleansed of all material contamination. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Sarvopadi. Right now we have so many upadhis, and all these upadhis are coming because of the body. Upadhis are the designations. I'm a man or a woman. This is my name. This is my surname. I belong to this family. This is my, uh, you know, I'm a boss, employee, servant, friend, whatever. All these material designations. How can we be free? By Krishna consciousness. These material designations are due to our material contamination because we are thinking we are the body. Because of that, we have all these designations. But we have to get Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. How? By Krishna consciousness. He should be restored to his pure identity in which he engages his senses in the service of the proprietor of the senses. So, how can we be situated in our pure identity? We each are pure spirit souls, eternal parts and parcels of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna. Right now, we are thinking we are the body and have so many of these dead upadhis we have created for ourselves. How? How do we go from where we are to where we should be, to our original position as pure spirit souls? By engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. By engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. Engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses. So when our senses are engaged for the actual proprietor of the senses, that is called devotional service. In a conditional state, our senses are engaged in serving these bodily demands. When the same senses are engaged in executing the order of Krishna, our activities are called bhakti. So, how do we engage in bhakti? We have been given the senses. So, we use these senses in the service of Krishna. And this is bhakti. And this helps us to clear up our material contamination, give up our false ego, and situate ourselves and as pure souls, pure identity, as part and parcel of Krishna. So this also this material designation why we have is because of false ego. How can we quickly get rid of this false ego? The senses that we have been given. So it's a very practical way. It's not that we simply think some philosophy and sit down and do nothing and just talk. No, it's very practical. We have ears, hear about Krishna. We have a mouth, chant Krishna's names, eat Krishna prasad. And in this way, our false ego will go away and we will be situated in our pure identity. And so when we are engaging the senses in the service of Krishna, this is called bhakti. When we are chanting Krishna's names, it's bhakti. When we are hearing about Krishna, it's bhakti. When we are accepting Krishna's prasad, it's bhakti. When we are seeing the deity, worshipping the deity, serving the deity, it's all this is bhakti. And it helps us to give up our false ego. Give up our false ego and situate ourselves in our real position as pure spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. As long as one identifies himself as belonging to a certain family, a certain society, or a certain person, he's said to be covered with designations. When one is fully aware that he does not belong to any family, society, or country, but is eternally related to Krishna, he then realizes that his energy should be employed not in the interests of so called family, society, or country, but in the interests of Krishna. This is purity of purpose and the platform of pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness. So that's the reason Krishna says that pure devotional service begins from the liberated platform, a Brahmabhuta platform. Brahmabhuta prasanatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. When one is on the Brahmabhuta platform, one engages in pure devotional service. So when one understands, oh, one completely gives up this false ego, not identifying at all with the body, but understands I am eternally related to Krishna. I have an eternal loving relationship with Krishna. When one completely understands it, then he engages in pure devotional service. So where do we go from where we are now to this platform of pure devotional service? We simply continue to hear and chant. We continue to hear and chant. We may not realize this knowledge right now, but we try to understand it, and then we continue to hear and chant, and it will bring us to this platform. It's like a green mango and a ripe mango, but a mango is mango. A mango is, after all, a mango. And it's only a matter of time that the green mango will become ripe and juicy and golden. So we continue hearing and chanting, understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Even if we don't understand anything, we simply continue hearing and chanting, and it will bring us to revive our eternal relationship with Krishna. Is that okay? Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.